Hey yo, what's up? This is your boy Asiago, back once again on 3am Thoughts. Except ironically, as I'm recording this, it's actually noon. Well, yeah, it's noon, and I didn't wake up at noon and start recording. No siree. Actually, if anything, I stood up, but I still hadn't slept, and that's because it's not like I got home late or anything like that. If anything, I got out at a really good time. I got out at a little past midnight. I think it was actually it was almost 1 in the morning, but still. And then once I got home, I was just chilling. I was just chilling, playing on my phone. Looking through Facebook, looking at some memes. And then I recorded another podcast with my boy Victor, and then right after that I started watching a movie. And damn, I forgot the name of the movie. Oh yeah, it's called The Invisible Man. Yeah, I watched it. Yeah, I watched it with a friend of mine over the phone. Damn, I gotta tell you, that's a crazy son of a gun movie. Freaking, if I'm just gonna say, I'm not gonna try to spoil it for those who are actually interested in seeing it, but man, I'm just gonna straight up say, if the main villain, the Invisible Man, if he was a freaking good guy, it would make a great superhero movie, a great original superhero movie. But I mean, it was kind of cool how they made him into a villain, and just seeing how the Invisible Man is invisible and stuff, just seeing how how everything comes to play. It's a real good thriller movie. I mean, I came in expecting the Invisible Man to be some kind of possessed ghost or something like that, or some very cliche thing. That's why I don't really watch horror movies all that often. But then again, here I am watching superhero movies, and pretty much they all have their own same cliches. But at least I like seeing those cliches all the time. When it comes to horror movies, I mean, I've seen so much of the same stuff, especially back in my horror movie phase, back in middle school, that I'm over here, I want something new. I want something that's gonna really catch my attention. Because superhero movies can keep doing the same thing over and over again. With Marvel, how many times do we see how many times do we see the main character fighting the villain who basically has the exact same powers as they do, except, well, either bigger or just plain evil. Shoot, from Black Panther, the Incredible Hulk, Iron Man, they're always fighting a freaking at least one villain that has the exact same power system. And I know it's a very cliche thing, it's a very repetitive thing, but hey, I mean, we but still, me and a whole lot of other people like seeing that stuff, and a whole lot of people like seeing, how all the same cliches in horror movies, and that's fine and all. I'm just saying, for me personally, when it comes to horror movies, I want to see something original. I want something that can really catch my attention. And man, I was not expecting, anything less than the cliches in this movie, but damn, this was pretty damn good. So I definitely recommend the Invisible Man. It was a very fun ride. What made it better was the fact that I actually got a sound bar for my TV here, and man, it really does bring the theater experience right at the home, because my favorite part of going to the movies is the sound. Man, the sound is no other. You got the big old speakers and the big old bass, especially if you're watching an action-packed movie, man, the sound's just coming at you everywhere, and it's just a very, very freaking fun ride here. So let's see, what do we got here? Okay, so now let's get on to my actual opener here. So let's see. So this opener, it's gonna be more of a rant here, because this actually comes from some that let's see. It comes from Facebook, as a lot of the openers and a lot of stuff I talk about on this channel. So look, here's the thing. I am not against protesting. I'm all for the First Amendment. I am all for people saying what they got to say. Why the hell not? This is a free country. We say what we want to say. And we can we could display our hatred or love towards something, you know, like whenever we want, however we want. Hell, like, I mean, shoot, like, it's because of freedom of speech, people can openly say, hey, you know, they hate Trump and all that. And again, that's fine, because, I mean, shoot, we live in a free country. You're allowed to freaking have opinions. And the being able to the protest, well, I mean, that further like solidates your you know, your freedom to, you know, say what you want and stuff. Because again, you know, because hey, you know, you may not like something, and it's like, or it may not be just you, but it may be an entire community, maybe an entire city that doesn't like something, and you guys can all come together and you can just protest against it, and you can actually cause change. Because I mean, one person can make a personal change in their lives, and it just only affects them. But when the freaking group of people come together, you know, with this common goal of trying to change something, they can make big things happen. And throughout history, especially like during the 1960s, yeah, I mean, it's become very evident that you know, protesting, it can be pretty powerful, especially if it's like well organized and stuff. Now, the only thing is that at the same time, I don't like protesting because you know, especially when you get to more extreme people, like they just take it to like unnecessary lengths, like freaking hanging off bridges, completely disturbing traffic, or whenever or whenever they decide, hey, you know what, you know, we're vegans, and we want to keep people from you know, going to the freaking meat store, so we're all gonna hold hands and block everybody trying to get to work. You know, we're gonna block the street and be like, no, you must promise to never eat meat again, or we won't move. And they freaking stay like that for hours, and then freaking somebody has to come by and damn near kill them just to get them out of the way. Shoot, I mean, like, I'm actually referring to this one video. I totally forgot the context of why these kids were freaking protesting, but I remember they were holding hands, blocking freaking traffic, and this guy freaking steals their sign, and he starts saying, you know, people gotta go to effing work, you know, get out the effing road, you know, and stuff like that. And my God, shoot, and that's the thing, you know, I mean, I wholeheartedly, you know, agree with protesting. The thing is that I think it should be done within within reason, within reasonable ways, you know, within reasonable routes. Otherwise, you know, you're just acting freaking retarded. So let's see, what else do we got here? And so these people specifically, they were protesting you know, reopening the state. Now, this isn't for Texas, is actually for Chicago, because for some reason I like this news page from Chicago. So, but I mean, there's a rally going on there as I speak, and they're rallying, you know, against you know, stay-at-home orders. You know, they want the, you know, they want the businesses to reopen. You know, they want to they want things to go back to normal as soon as possible, despite, you know, the pandemic going on. And here's the thing, I don't really give a damn about the pandemic, you know, personally. It doesn't really affect me, other than, you know, everybody freaking out around me and then causing a major inconvenience for me, because, I mean, freaking I can't go on with my normal life because, you know, everybody else around me wants to be an idiot. But I mean, I know the virus is real, and I know that some people actually, you know, suffer from it too. I'm not denying that, but I'm just saying, like, you know, it doesn't affect me personally, and I can see it doesn't really affect you know, those other dudes as well, and so I hear. So I see these people, you know, they're protesting, you know, for things to open back up, you know, for you know, I see these guys, you know, they want things to go back to normal, and I get it, you know, so do I, and I do agree with them. But the thing is just that, like, I mean, if we really want things to go back to normal, we're gonna have to, like, you know, we're gonna have to, like, you know, come together and start working together on this. I mean, shoot, the nation's like very divided right now, and, you know, we all need to come together on a common goal, and that's to get things back to normal. And I'm not gonna expand too much upon that, because that's not the main topic of this cast. But let's see. But the thing I'm going to be ranting about is the fact that, you know, I see all these people all these people commenting on these protesters, and and they say, oh man, look at all these people, man, they're violating social distancing orders, they're violating the stay-at-home orders, man, these people suck because they just want to be unsafe, the virus is gonna spread because of the rally. Oh, the virus is gonna spread because all these people are collectively gathering together and stuff. This is terrible, this is horrible. And then I saw another article, in this article, people are also bashing Josh Brolin just because he posted a picture of him and his family visiting some relatives, and again, people were saying the same thing. Oh, well, why are you violating the orders? You're gonna spread the virus. And not only are these sheep like freaking annoying as hell, but at the same time, like, these very same people, they get pissed off at people for leaving home and possibly spreading the virus. I mean, these people, they also come to Walmart and I'm a Walmart worker, so I'm speaking from experience. These same people, they come to Walmart to an already crowded store, and they're like, I want a TV, I want a video game, I want some arts and crafts things. I just want a non-essential item, and it bothers me so much because, like, you guys want to freaking bash on people, because they want to come together and protest. I mean, surely, yeah, they're going against orders and stuff, and they're going, they're coming together, they're crowding together, and that can possibly spread the virus. But the thing is, you come into Walmart for non-essential items, or when you're bringing your entire family tree, which is completely unnecessary, while you're grocery shopping, just making the store more crowded with more unnecessary people. Like why do you need to bring your kid? Why do you need to bring your freaking stupid baby, to the store for? Your baby ain't gonna pay for nothing. Your baby's just gonna take up space, and plus your baby's gonna be exposed to the virus if it is at the store. So why are you bringing your entire freaking family to Walmart? Let them stay at home. If you must have more than one person go grocery shopping, then make it like, I don't know, the father and the mother of the house, or however your household goes. Like, just it's limited to 2 people. And that would make things much easier and simple. But no, we have to take the entire family because it's a family tradition to go to Walmart. Yes, and you have all these freaking people, again, they're going to Walmart because they're freaking bored of being home all day, and then they're freaking just crowding up the store, and they're not even buying anything. They're just walking around there, and they're leaving empty-handed, and it's annoying. Or they're freaking just going to the store just to buy a freaking non-essential item like a TV. And I'm going to be saying TV a lot because, I mean, that's like the biggest thing I've seen people get. I mean, people got their stimulus checks. I mean, they're like, oh yay, $1,200, I could buy a TV with this. And we've been selling out of those a lot. So, but anyways, and that's another thing. Like, okay, so I mean, I get it. I get, if you want to buy a TV while you're buying groceries, okay. Because again, there's nothing stopping you from buying non-essential items at the store, even if that is the only things you get. But the thing is, though, is that, like, if you're gonna get non-essential items, get them while you're grocery shopping, while you're getting actual essential items. Don't just come to the store just to get freaking non-essential items. Because we need, we need the store to be open for those who actually need to come inside. And if you don't want to be a part of the problem, then don't come to a crowded store. Don't put stress on us freaking Walmart folk just because you're bored at home, or just because you hate the internet and you don't want to freaking order that damn TV on a pickup or something like that. God, freaking, I don't know. It's just annoying as hell, man. Like you would think these fools are freaking high on weed or something like that. And actually, that leads me to the main topic of this podcast. And see, well, seeing that it's 420, why the hell not? Why not the hell freaking get onto this topic here. So, Mary Jane, as they call it. Shoot, like actually, the funny thing is, I had no idea that Mary Jane was actually a term for it until I heard this song by Tom Petty, and the song is called Mary Jane's Last Dance. Now, I mean, listening to the song, it could be referring to both or either yeah, either or both, you know, the actual, like, you know, marijuana itself, or, you know, or a girl named Mary Jane, or again, or just possibly both at the same time. I mean, just by the way the song is written, I don't know, I gotta listen to it again. It's a good song, and I definitely do recommend it. It's you know, especially, you know, whether you're a classic rock fan, whatever you like, or wherever, whenever you not, I can't speak, or whether you not you like Mary Jane or whatever. You know, it's just a good song overall. I really do recommend that. So anyways, so speaking upon the subject, I hear a lot of pros and, or supposedly pros and cons about it. Like, I mean, I know for one thing, I mean, it's, you know, it's kind of meant to calm me down. I mean, yeah, I mean, shoot, you know, it's got those, you know, I mean, marijuana has those chemicals, you know, that naturally calm you down. And on top of that, you know, and I think the bigger reason why people, I mean, again, I'm speaking from my own experience. I don't do the stuff myself, so I can only make assumptions. I mean, I know a lot of people that do it. I mean, I'm just making assumptions here. You know, I don't know if there is a comment section or whatever. I mean, there probably isn't, but I mean, shoot, I don't know. Like, if you could somehow find me, or if you could somehow contact me, you know, tell me if things are different or whatever. I mean, feel free to do so. But so I mean, so of course, you know, the whole thing of cannabis is that, you know, it's got those chemicals for, you know, that calm you down. And I think the bigger reason the bigger reason why people actually smoke this stuff is because, you know, again, you know, it gives you that, you know, feeling of being high. I mean, shoot, I mean, you hear about it in songs and stuff all the time. And again, you know, why? I mean, okay, it's one thing, you know, to keep smoking it because it calms you down. Okay, that's just, I mean, okay, I see that. I mean, that's a legit reason. Hell, freaking, it's medically prescribed to people. You know, freaking, they ease people's pains and stuff. And again, especially if you see someone working a stressful job, I mean, I don't be surprised if they do smoke that stuff. But also too, like, and this could be just a stereotype too. But you know, on that same note, it could also not be just a stereotype. You know, people, you know, smoke it to get high. And shoot, like, again, you know, and that's what I see. You know, and let's see, I'm not saying that's a pro or con. I'm just assuming that's like a bigger reason why people actually smoke this stuff, and why people are actually trying to, you know, make it more legalized. I mean, and when it comes to you know, the whole legalization of the stuff, and you know, that's why I see, you know, that there's a whole lot of like medical pros and stuff to it, and also, and mainly, like, when people say they want to legalize it, they want to legalize it for recreational use, you know, like Colorado is doing. Not so much just to keep it strictly medical, you know, but they just want to go to like a smoke shop and just get the actual stuff, you know, and buy it, you know, legally. And you see, and you know, and then there's a lot. And again, supposedly there's a lot of health pros, and somehow it can cure cancer. If anybody wants to explain that to me, that would be nice, because I don't understand how smoking pot can, like, reverse overstimulated cell growth. I don't understand how that can do that. If you want to explain that to me, go right ahead. Shoot, give me an example if you can. Because I mean, if it does, then that's first of all, that's very cool. Second of all, why aren't scientists investing in that? But anyways, let's see. And two, like, and there's other different kinds of pros when it like that I hear about when it comes to, you know, pot and stuff, and that's so much like, you know, you can, you know, if you legalize it, like, you know, the government can tax on it, and then that tax money coming from pot purchases can go towards, like, you know, schools and stuff. I mean, just like with anything else, but except, you know, it's coming from you know, from something that people smoke. I mean, I'm pretty sure, like, proceeds from tobacco, or I mean, I'm pretty sure. I mean, I know some of it is going to be put towards, you know, the actual, like, factories that produce the tobacco themselves. But like, like, a lot. I'm pretty sure some of the profits too there, you know, go to, like, you know, funding, you know, something, and like whatever. Anyways. And two, and I hear a lot that you can drive all these you know, all these you know, drug dealers that deal with dope. You could drive them off the streets, or you could drive them out of business by simply just making the stuff legal, because then people aren't going to them anymore, and and there's no point of making shady transactions if this stuff is legal then. And again, it's supposed to take less crime at the streets. Well, I think the only crime that would be actually lessened would be like the crime of actually possessing this stuff. And again, I mean, I know in that by saying that it would actually lessen the crime out there. But then at the same time though, like if that's the only crime it's actually taken out, like I mean, well, whatever. So again, this entire podcast is just me explaining my opinions on it. And again, so I'm just gonna straight up say here, I am neither for or against the stuff. I mean, again, so as someone who doesn't do the stuff himself, like, because I don't do it and I don't plan to do it, it's not really for me, per se, like. I mean, and that's a lot of things. I mean, a lot of people ask me, hey, do you smoke this? And I tell them no, and they're like, why don't you smoke it? And I just simply tell them I just don't want to. And then they'll try to really badger me on it, like, why don't you do this? It's so great, it feels so good, it feels so great, and I wouldn't doubt that. But the thing is, I just don't want to do it. And then for some reason, people just get mad whenever I give them that simple answer, and then they're like, no, you have to do it. And I'm like, okay, you're one of those kind of people. Like, I mean, here's the thing, it's just not for me, like. And also I joke around and say this, but I think there actually is a bit of truth when I say this, is that I'm pretty sure that if I actually do partake in it, I would actually end up liking it like a lot, and then that's just another thing I'm going to be spending money on. And plus it's illegal here in Texas, so so I'm trying to, first of all, stay on the good side of the law, and second of all, I'm trying to not have yet another freaking avenue over where my freaking money is going. I mean, hell, I already spent enough on freaking food and video games and bills and stuff, so I mean don't give me another thing to freaking spend my money on, because again, like, I mean, shoot, seeing how, like, I never thought I would get into anime or whatever, and seeing how much, like, obsess over it. Yeah, I'm pretty sure I would have the same reaction when it comes to the freaking pot. And I'm pretty sure I would love it so much that I would just keep on freaking buying the stuff out. And I'll be like, man, why am I broke all the time? But damn. But let's see. But again, though, it's like, but really, aside from that, I don't think the stuff is actually for me, though. I mean, again, and it could be just that simple answer. I don't have to have this entire 95 thesis of why, like, I freaking don't want to partake in it, or why I don't think I should. I mean, again, it's just a simple answer. Like, I mean, some people don't want to believe in Jesus because they don't think that's for them. That's fine. Some people don't like video games because they think that's just not for them. Some people just don't like movies. Some people just don't like, going to Walmart. Some people just don't like freaking hanging out with certain other people because they don't think that's just, with them. And that's all fine and dandy. But then whenever I say, hey, I don't really want to, do this stuff, and for some reason some people get mad. I mean, not everybody. I mean, there's a lot of people that are reasonable, and they're like, okay, yeah, I understand. Shoot, that's what's up. And and then so that's the point I'm trying to get across. I mean, I just simply don't want to do it. I don't see myself doing it, and if I do, I mean, for me, I just see a lot more inconveniences going on there. So let's see. And let's see, and I think a lot of it actually has to do. I mean, when it comes to my personal opinion, I think a lot of it has to do with my experience with it. Now, again, I never done the stuff, so how can I have an experience with it? Well, people around me growing up have actually went ahead and and done it. Let's see. So starting off, I had a lot of family members, and still to this day they they do this stuff. Like, shoot, I got like uncles, aunts, cousins, all these relatives around me that would smoke this stuff. And And let's see, and again, you know, and when I describe these people, when I talk about these people, again, I'm not speaking for the entire like weed smoking community, or I'm not talking, or I'm not representing them in any way, or I'm not trying to like, you know, bundle them all into the stereotype or whatever. I'm just speaking things from my experience of what I've seen. So anyways, here we go. So I see all these, all these relatives of mine, you know, smoking this stuff, and a lot of them seem to prioritize, you know, marijuana over everything. Like shoot, like even before their own families and before, you know, their like bills and stuff like that. They'll just like, you know, a lot of times, shoot, like maybe, you know, maybe one. Shoot, my cousin probably won't have food on the table one night, but at least her parents will have a, you know, a freaking you know, bag of sticky in their freaking in their bedroom. I mean, and I never really liked that. I mean, of course, I mean, being a little kid, you don't really notice that, but like, as I grew up and started you know, seeing things, started noticing things, yeah, like it made me realize, you know. Yeah, I mean, maybe like, I don't know. I used to think for the longest time that, like, you know, smoking dope would like actually made you like a really complete idiot. I mean, because I mean, here's the thing. Yeah, I mean now, you know, because I work with people, I'm friends with people, you know, they do this stuff, and I realize that it doesn't turn you into an idiot, you know, it doesn't like dissolve your brain cells or whatever. However, though, when you're high, that's a different story. But I mean, what I'm saying is that, like, if freaking I see a lot of, you know, I see a lot of intellectuals, you know, who do this stuff, and you know, they still have their intellect intact. So I think it just depends on the person that actually does it. I think really the way we gotta look at it is kind of like, you know, how we look at alcohol. I mean, shoot, like there's all kinds of many people that freaking you know, drink alcohol. Shoot, you got the alcoholics, and you got the people that can, you know, hold the liquor, and you got the people that drink socially, and you got the people, you know, who only drink like maybe like a glass or two, or a bottle or two, or however you wanna put it, and you know, and you know, you have the people that are responsible, and you have the people that are irresponsible with it. You know, and I think, you know, that really goes the same way with Mary Jane, because I mean, shoot, you got the people that are so irresponsible, like that, like literally that's the only thing they care about, and you know, they prioritize it over everything, and it just makes their lives harder, because I mean, they're putting this plant, you know, before, you know, the rent, or before the children and stuff, and you know, and that's not what I really, and that's not what I like, and that's what a lot of people don't like. I mean, prioritizing a freaking you know, a freaking narcotic over, you know, with the more important things in life. I mean, I mean, we all got the freedom of choice, but man, that okay, no pun intended, that ain't dope, man. But shoot, but let's see, but also, yeah, well, I mean, here's the thing, you know, again, I'm neither for or against it, but I say, you know, if we're gonna legalize this stuff, again, regulate it, you know, put like legal limits on it, you know, how we have like legal limits on alcohol. I mean, if you're at home, freaking, you can drink all you want, you can even drink yourself to death, as long as you're not out there on the road or in public or whatever, you know, causing havoc, causing trouble, or possibly causing danger to someone else. But you know, once you're out and about, like, you know, I mean, if you're at the bar, you know, you can get freaking crap faced drunk, but I mean, it's not recommended. Actually, they discourage you from freaking like operating a freaking vehicle, because again, you get behind that wheel super drunk, you got a high chance of freaking like, hitting someone, killing someone possibly. And again, you know, and there's that thing about that. There's a law against the public intoxication, you know, because again, people like to act dumb, you know, when they're when they're drunk. So, you know, people don't want to see that all the time, you know, especially out in public in front of their kids and stuff, you know. So they say, you know, if we catch you being drunk out in public, you know, we're gonna, we're gonna take you to jail or whatever they do. And so I say, if they're gonna legalize this stuff, I mean, might as well put the same limits on there, because for a lot of the part, there's actually like, I mean, there's a lot of similarities between pot and alcohol, in which I don't see why it wouldn't work. Actually, I remember having a conversation with Victor on this like a year or two ago, and I remember he brought up a lot of good points, because he's in the whatchamacallit, police field, whatever you call that, authority, law enforcement. Yeah, so he's part of that field. So yeah, so he's also got a few he also had a few things to say upon that. Maybe I might, if he wants to do another podcast later on tonight after I wake up or whatever, shoot, like I can talk to him about that. But anyways, shoot. So what else? Oh yeah. So back to my experience, with people around me doing it. So not only that, I would also notice how, like, again, this all goes back to just being like very, very irresponsible with the stuff. They not only would they prioritize the stuff over everything, but they would also like I don't know, and this could be just for them just making poor life decisions and all that, but I've always perceived them as being idiots, because I mean they would smoke the stuff, not only act a fool, but then even when they're not smoking the stuff, they would just always act a fool again, freaking, because because if you're gonna be irresponsible, you're only gonna act irresponsible. So and that's all I would see. So for the longest time, I had this very antagonized view of not just marijuana itself, but also like of the people who do it, and then too, freaking, whenever you have schools, having Wally the Turtle freaking going around saying drugs are bad. Actually, I don't think it was Wally the Turtle that said drugs are bad or whatever. I think that was something completely different. But anyways, but again, you have these schools saying, don't do drugs. Drugs are bad. And weed is definitely a drug. And if you do that, well, you're gonna turn into a criminal or something like that. And yeah, and again, that just further antagonized, my view in the thing. And and as I grew up and I started getting older, I never considered doing this stuff. But again, I started opening my mind up, and I started thinking for myself more. I started thinking, well, again, like if you don't use this stuff responsibly, if you act a fool with it, of course, it's gonna look bad, and of course it's gonna, end up having bad effects, and that's the thing. Shoot, and I see why people want to use it with alcohol. It's a completely legal thing, and people consume that stuff because it makes them feel good. I mean, again, like, shoot, after a long day of work, some people just like to pop up with some Corona and then and drink it up. Shoot, and I'm assuming that a lot of people after work too. I mean, especially if they're not in Colorado, shoot, they like to blaze it up after work, and again, because it's something that makes them feel good. And that's why they want it legalized, because again, I mean, if we could just enforce the same limits on that as we do with alcohol, I mean, I think things would work out easier. But again, though, I don't know, like, all the ins and outs of of the stuff itself, of the legality of it, or of the possible legality of it. I don't know too much of those ins and outs, so I'm not going to discuss that here on this cast. So let's see, what else do we got? So actually, and so I'm going to go further on, with my experience with this stuff. So back in the day, my dad actually used to do it. Because growing up, growing up in the freaking hoods of Pasadena, I mean, Soho, or somewhere around that area. I mean, of course, I mean, and being the kind of kid he was, I mean, why wouldn't he freaking do that stuff? I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a common thing to do over there, and shoot, and he absolutely loved this stuff. But then when he met my mom, and and they had me, and he realized that he had to kind of mature. Yeah, he realized that he had to mature, to take care of a family. He his grasp on on the stuff, had to be compromised. And again, shoot, like, man, I'm pretty sure, like, I'm pretty sure. I mean, like, if you love some, like, you love some, like, alcohol or marijuana, like, a lot, but then once you start having a family, you gotta start acting more responsible, because again, you have a big liability on your hands, and you want to you want to make sure you don't, like, put unnecessary complications on it. So my dad matured a bit, and I don't think he stopped doing stuff, at least not for a long while. But definitely, like, he held on. He held off on the stuff a lot, because again, we freaking starting a family here, and he has to and he has to take care of us. And then when my sister came along, he's got not just one but two kids to take care of. So he would be out there, busting his rear, making a living for all of us. And that was fun, and that was good. That was really good. That was real. Shoot, I mean, my dad would work 2 jobs, just to support a family of 4. And hey, I mean, you gotta do what you gotta do. But also, on the weekends when he wasn't working, shoot, like, and I would see this a lot more as I got older. Like, going into my teenage years, like, I mean, we'd still go to parties, get drunk, and sometimes, he'd get a hold of stuff, but it would always be behind my mom's back, because my mom never, like, I mean, she did this stuff once in her life, but, like, after that, she never liked this stuff. Like, she just hardcore never liked this stuff, and I get it, because with her experiences growing up, she didn't see a lot of positive things, either, and and when anytime she saw my dad doing this stuff, like, she would get really, really pissed off, because I mean, here's the thing. It's not like he was prioritizing the stuff, over the family and stuff. It's just that my mom didn't want to see that stuff around the house, because, like, and I would notice this a lot, and this was very noticeable, even to my little kid eyes, that my family was very different from, like, the other, from the other households of our relatives, like, because like, in comparison, my family had, like, they had, like, the nicest things. They always had, the nicer apartments or the nicer house. They had the nicer cars. My dad had more money, and we their kids would be more spoiled and have the nicer toys than than our cousins and stuff. And again, that goes down to my dad just working his butt off all the time. He works hard for the stuff we had, and then in comparison, when you go to my relatives, again, they prioritized other things before the more important stuff, and that's why they never really had the nice things that we had. Now, it doesn't go down to just possessions, but it also goes down to, like, moralities too, because again, like, I mean, because both my parents, they had, because they had strong wills, and they really wanted to make sure that they raised me and my sister right. And again, that's real. I mean, that's real legit. Shoot, like, they didn't want to be like the other relatives, freaking acting so responsible. They acting like they're freaking 13 when they're freaking, like, 36. So my parents raised me and my sister differently other than my cousin's parents did, because again, like, for them it was, like, more easy going and stuff like that. Do whatever you want if it makes you feel good. But the way my parents raised us is that you gotta work for what you have. You gotta work hard to get things done, and you gotta stay responsible too. I mean, shoot, even if something feels good, like, if you just go off emotion, or just if you just go off good times, good feelings, and all that, then you're gonna find yourself not having a good time in the end. And again, it all comes down to the same thing. You gotta be responsible with what you do. If you're just irresponsible with what you do, then you're just gonna be we're just gonna be like the other relatives, and not really, and not really make a name for ourselves. Well, I mean, not make a name for ourselves. I don't know why I said that, but we're not gonna make a good life for ourselves, and that's what they really wanted us to do. They want us to make a good life for ourselves. And with my mom, when she saw when she would see my dad smoking marijuana, it was just not a good time, and it just reminded her too much, of our relatives and stuff. And here's the thing, even to this day, we still love them to death and all that, but because we were so different, they didn't, they kind of envied us, but at the same time, they just don't like how different we are. It's because just because we're not like them. They closed us off. I mean, back in the day, before my family became Christians, yeah, we'd be partying, getting drunk with them all the time. But the thing is that but even then though, even freaking then, they didn't exactly close us off, but they didn't exactly because I don't know how to explain it. It's just it's like if they're jealous in many ways. They didn't like us for being so damn different. And then it only got worse when we became Christians, because then absolutely none of them wanted to talk to us, because they thought we were gonna be all preachy and stuff. Well, maybe my dad is, but I'm not. But they'll even shut me off because they think I'll be just a freaking this preacher man that'll freaking grind on them all the time about, oh, you need to repent now, sinner. I do plan on being somewhat of a preacher, but then again, I'm not gonna freaking force anything on you, and I'm not gonna, and when the moment I see you, I'm not gonna just bring up freaking God at the very first moment, because again, as I want to get comfortable with people. I wanted to actually come up naturally in conversation and stuff. But anyways, so back to the whole thing. So on top of marijuana having a real bad impression on my mom, but my dad actually had a secret addiction for a long time to it, and it just wasn't good, because again, because for years he would do it behind my mom's back, he would do it behind our backs. And then again, as I became a teenager, I started noticing some things, because I started noticing, sometimes he'd come home, he'd go to his room, lock the door, he wouldn't even say hi, and then he will open up his window, and then he would block off the bottom of the door, and I'll be wondering, what is he doing in there? And I remember going into the backyard one day because I was just chilling, and then I saw smoke coming out, and it smelled something weird, and I was like, oh shoot, what is he doing? And I always suspected it, but it wasn't ever confirmed until this one night where my mom caught him, and this big freaking fight broke out. And let me tell you, I had a pretty good childhood, and I don't really have all these traumatic experiences, but I'll tell you, whenever my mom and dad had a falling out over that stuff, it really did traumatize me, because the fights, they wouldn't just be yelling. Freaking my mom would be both of them, they'd be freaking attacking each other. It was just so freaking horrible. God, you don't even think they're the same people anymore, just because of the way they would fight. And it would scare me and my sister to freaking death. I remember this one time when it was just suspected that my dad was doing this stuff. Freaking, I had that feeling, and I thought, oh shoot, a fight's about to break out. So I remember grabbing my sister, and I ran I ran to a friend's house, because because we didn't want to be there, for the fight. Now, a fight didn't end up breaking out, because they saw what we did, and they tried to hide it behind closed doors, but still again, it's not nice whenever you're freaking the relationship of your family, is tearing apart, because of this one was one thing. And again, in this addiction, you wouldn't think that it would affect, everybody else in the house, but it did, because he became, upon taking the stuff, secretly, he became more distant from the rest of us. And again, seeing that my mom really disapproved of the stuff, again, his relationship with her wasn't going all that well either, and things were just going really bad. We were on the verge of just completely tearing apart. I almost grew up with my parents divorcing and having to see my dad separately from my mom. It almost got to that point, because the addiction just got so freaking bad. Because here's another thing, addiction is seemingly whether you believe in generational curses or epigenetics or whatever, seemingly addiction runs in the family, and not just and not just on my dad's side, but on my mom's side, on both sides, with the relatives. And it's pretty evident, because they'll be addicted to both marijuana and alcohol, because they'll be alcoholics, getting drunk all the time, prioritizing stuff, over family, things, and then all they would care about, is just where's my next high coming from? When is my next high coming in? And it was just a real bad deal. And and that's another reason why my mom didn't seeing my dad doing this stuff, because again, addiction runs in the family. If he starts doing it once and he starts liking it, he's not gonna freaking stop, and it's all gonna go downhill from there. And in which it freaking did, and it almost hit rock bottom. But you see, but thankfully, and this will be another story for another podcast, but thankfully I spoke up and said, things that gotta change, all this crap's gotta freaking quit. So again, that's a whole another podcast I'm gonna be expanding on for season 2. Actually, this is season 2, so later on down the road, I'm gonna be explaining that story. But anyways, So again, all these life experiences, all from what people have told me and from all I've seen, I've always had this antagonized view of marijuana and people who do marijuana, because again, I've just had very bad and sometimes traumatic experiences, with the stuff, and it hurts my heart, it hurt my soul, and it just, a lot, sometimes it would even make me cry, and it just, it was just terrible. But you know what? Let's move on to another thing here. Okay, so I just got a funny text. Freaking some guy in my work group chat. He freaking typed in "Happy Holidays." Man. Anyways, so that was just my antagonized view of this stuff. But let's go on to why I'm more open about this stuff. So I explained this. I believe I did explain this in a couple of other podcasts before. I think maybe once or twice in the music series, and another time in another podcast. But I started becoming more open. Open-minded. After graduation, when growing up as an adult. Now, I started becoming open-minded about the world around me. I started, questioning myself, why do I believe in this? Why don't I want kids? Why, do I do the things I do? And why do I have these specific views and things? Why am I a libertarian? Why am I a Christian? Why, why do I, what drives me, to wake up in the morning? What's my purpose, of doing any of this? What's my purpose of being here? I ask myself all these kinds of questions. And then one thing leading to another, and eventually, I got to the whole thing of my personal views on, this whole marijuana train, because again, definitely more than once, the whole subject of the legalization of it would come up, and just seeing that on the news all the time, it made me begin to think a bit. Why? So I know why. I know why it's so antagonized in my life. But then I started thinking, why? So like, but why at the same time do a lot of people like like it? So I started looking into it. So I started doing like, well, I mean, minimal research, but still, like, I want to see what was the big deal, and again, I don't remember anything from the freaking research that I've gathered other than supposedly freaking cannabis can cure cancer, but again, I don't know how in any way possible freaking putting something in your lungs and your brain is supposed to freaking reverse overstimulated cells. Like, I still don't get that. I still don't understand. I don't think that's even possible. But anyways, so let's see. So I started thinking of the effects that that marijuana gives, and why people love it so much, and it led me to to realize that some of the best music ever released was made by people who did this stuff. A lot of the best music ever written was probably written when people were freaking high on this stuff. I mean, for a lot of the songs you listened to was probably LSD or something like that. But again, another big portion of it could have been freaking, could have been marijuana. I mean, I'm pretty sure when Tom Petty wrote that song, Mary Jane, he was probably on Mary Jane, and it sounds so good. Because here's the thing, like, I'm pretty sure, like, because I mean, again, assuming this from the music that I listen to, like, I'm pretty sure, like, when you're stoned, you like, I'm pretty, like, I don't know if this goes for everybody or some people, but like, I'm pretty sure, like, you get like, I mean, they do in a sense, you get dazed and confused, but like, you also get like this sense of calmness, a sense of like, being, kind of like, what's the word? Kind of like, you're in this mode of swing, like you're just really easygoing, and the music that you would create, in that state would reflect that. So you hear a lot of like psychedelic 70s rock, and and God, like sometimes it's like very extravagant, and a lot of times it's just very like calm and smooth, almost like jazz, but except more rhythmic, or to say the least, or more like or more like swayish, for lack of better terms, because I don't know any. Currently, I can't think of any terms I can really describe it. Because again, freaking been up since I've been up for over 24 hours now, and I'm kind of tired. But anyways, but still, like, again, and even if you go into rap, the modern rap music. Now, again, I don't really listen all that much to modern secular rap, but I know a lot of modern Christian rap, at least like the beats, that is, even like the styles of my favorite Christian rap artists. A lot of them are inspired by the secular rap artists who do smoke this stuff, and who do make music based off how they're feeling in that state of being high. And I gotta tell you, freaking, I gotta tell you, like, it sounds really good. Like, I don't know, like, with your mind being in this state of like just being like calm and swaying, it's just like, I don't know, it somehow brings out the best in you. I don't know, like, I'm guessing, like, in a way, cannabis kind of opens this one, like it opens up this one part of your mind that kind of opens it, kind of like, makes it, that kind of like boosts like your creativity in some way. And again, I've never done this stuff, I don't plan to, and I like I say, I don't understand, so I don't understand all the ins and outs. So again, I'm just speaking this all from my personal perspective. But again, so I see the bad, but I also see the good in it too. From medical purposes, for purposes of just making you feel good, and for purposes of like just boosting your art style, boosting your ability to make art. And it's pretty no pun intended, it's pretty dope. It's pretty damn dope. Like, I don't know, and it's because of me realizing of how, like, of both the goods and the bads. It made me realize that, yeah, like, okay, so maybe it's not all that bad, but again,
But again, from my past experiences, it may not be all that. It may not be all that good either, but at least, you know, I got more open idea of like what it is, how it is, and you know, I've come to this conclusion. I'm neither for or against. Because I see both sides of the coin, and and just like with alcohol, I mean, shoot, like a lot it goes down to perception. A lot of people see it as bad. A lot of people see it as good. A lot of people say, you know, it completely weighs on whether the user is responsible. And I see that, and I can see that same thing, you know, with Mary Jane. You know, like, you know, it comes down, you know, being responsible with stuff. You know, not acting a fool with it. You know, but also, you know, hey, you know, have a little fun at the same time. You know, shoot, because you know, just like with alcohol, you know, a lot of people do, you know. A lot of people do, you know, drink to forget. A lot of people drink to, you know, have, you know, they kind of, I don't know, just be part of the social scene. But at the same time, like, you know, but people also want to take it to have fun. You know, like some people like to drink alcohol to get a little tipsy, whatever. Some people just like to get flat out drunk, and a lot of people, you know, shoot, like, again, you know, like. You know, it's the same thing with weed. You know, shoot. Some people just want a tiny hit, you know, because they want that little hit of dopamine. Some people, you know, they need it to sleep, or they need it to calm down, or they need it so they can take away their pain. Sometimes, you know, they need it because they need inspiration, or you know, for a song or whatever. And you know, again, I see both the good and the bad. I just choose to not, you know, subscribe to it in any way. Yeah, so I mean that basically kind of sums up all that I really had to say about the subject. And actually, I mean, it's kind of really too late to say this, but I'm not sure if this microphone was actually completely plugged into my phone. Seeing that I'm hearing the notifications coming out of my phone, and I'm like, wait a second, is this thing actually all the way plugged in? Well, I mean, I see the mic's light is on, but again, like, so I mean, I know the mic is on, but I don't know if like the noise being picked up is coming from my phone or if it's actually coming from the freaking microphone. So I'm kind of scared on that matter. But anyways, I guess I'll find out whenever I'll listen back on this cast. Shoot, so I'm gonna go ahead and kind of close here. So again, wrapping up everything I said, goes down, you know, to being responsible, and again, it also goes down to freedom of choice, because you know we all got free will, we all got the power to make our own decisions, we all got the power to to make our own choices, and you know, when it comes to doing that stuff, do it if you want, don't do it if you want. I mean, again, like it's your choice. I mean, preferably, I'd say, you know, if it's illegal. If it's illegal in your area, don't do it in your area. Or if you must, you know, don't let people know. Shoot, or don't let the wrong people know. You know what I'm saying? Like, shoot, like, I mean, if this was Colorado, like I say, go ahead. You know, you can blaze it up all you want. You know, you're not gonna get in trouble for it. But again, you know, but this is Texas though, and at the time of this, you know, recording, it's still legal. You know, so I'd say, you know, you can't be blazing up in front of a cop, you know, without expecting to get into any trouble. So, you know, it can't be like freaking smoking on Friday. He's smoking a freaking blunt in front of in front of that dude, man. Oh my god, that was hilarious. But yeah, it's been a long time since I saw that movie. Shoot, I might actually show this friend of mine later on tonight, maybe. Shoot. So, anyways. So here we go, the last couple, like, minute and a half of the podcast. So thank you for making it this far. Okay, here we go. Actually, I have no idea if the freaking mic is actually picking up anything I'm saying. But anyways, thank you for making it this far. Thank you for listening to what I had to say. And so I'm gonna I gotta take a dump, and then after that I can finally go to bed. Shoot, I'm probably not gonna wake up till like maybe 7:30 or whatever. But hey, though, I mean, shoot, I'm up all night anyway, so it doesn't really make a difference. So here we go. This is your boy Asiago on 3am Thoughts, recording or ending the podcast at 1:10 p.m. Yeah, here we go. This is your boy. Thank you for listening. Have a good one.